Stressful. So the Vietnam War was from 1955 till 75, if I'm correct?
As far as American involvement, you're looking at more significant American involvement. You're probably looking at more 63 to 65 to 1975. So the fall of Saigon is in the spring of 1975. Yeah.
Yeah, just imagine that war dragged on for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Like how many presidents were during that war? 2 American presidents?
Oh, no, more than that.
More.
Yeah, so really the start of it is going to be you could maybe even make an argument as far as significant involvement. It really starts ramping up under Kennedy, and then Lyndon Baines Johnson is going to inherit it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then after Lyndon Baines Johnson is going to be Nixon.
Yeah.
And then 1975 is when we get out, and that's going to be during the Ford administration.
And of course, every president as well, it's a new set of rules. Things change. They want to do this. We want to do it this way. So the way that translates to the boots on the ground, it must have been hell having to go through those changes. So
Man, so literally while we're on the topic, we can just skip a few questions and just go immediately to the MACV-SOG, right?
Yeah, so I've had a bit of an obsession. I don't know why or where it came from about MACV-SOG and those guys. I think I stumbled across an audiobook on Audible, listened to it, and that was it. Then I was hooked. I listened to so many books about SOG, and then I think my obsession got transferred to Sander a little bit because I'm like, hey man, like you need to listen to this book, and it's become a bit of a deep dive for me. But I think attached to that question is, and while we're on the topic of Vietnam, are we likely to see some episodes on your channel around Vietnam?
I definitely have intentions of going to Vietnam. It's just a matter of when to get there. That's at least for me, that's a pretty big trip. For
us as well. Even though we had no involvement, both our countries. Like Sean always says that when he's British, and the British had almost no involvement in Vietnam, right? Like fighting wise, and it's just so appealing to him. And he's sort of, like he said already, he's sort of.
It was reading the SOG stories, and some of those guys, like 21 years old, and the missions they were going on. We all grew up watching our action heroes and stuff, but these guys really seem to live it. And it's hard to believe, reading the stories. And I started listening to SOGcast, which is put on by John Stryker Meyer. With the help of Jocko Willink, I believe. I think I'm on episode 5 now, and a couple of the guys he's had on have written books, which are the books I started Sander on. But yeah, I guess Nick Brockhausen, John Stryker Meyer's books have been phenomenal. I can't remember the other author, SOG Medic, I think it was. He was a medical guy. But yeah, what's your opinion on the SOG guys, JD? I mean, do you hear about them much in the States? Are they still sort of classed as heroes? Because for me and Sander being English and Dutch, the way we read about these guys is probably a different perception from how people stateside would.
So I would say that the average American probably doesn't know just a whole lot about the SOG guys. It's been in recent years here where the Vietnam War veterans are finally starting to get the recognition that is due to them, and I think that as our World War II generation has all but faded, and really the Korean War guys too, because that's the same generation, and it's actually it's more difficult to find a Korean War veteran than it is a World War II veteran, because there were less of them, and again they're part of that World War II generation, honestly.
Yeah.
But there weren't as many of them who went over there, so it's more difficult to find a Korean War veteran. I think we're going to start hearing more of I think there's going to be an attention shift to what happened, in Vietnam, and hearing some more of these stories. There was a little bit of a bump in the 80s that came along with Platoon and Hamburger Hill, the movies, and then in the United States we had a couple of TV shows that ran in the 80s. One of them was called China Beach, and the other one was called Tour of Duty.
I remember Tour of Duty. Yeah, I think that aired in the UK actually. I vaguely remember that. And obviously, Apocalypse Now, Platoon, they were all huge over here as well. So I guess that certainly brought to light what went on.
Yeah, so that kind of peaked in the late 80s. Like you had Platoon, and then you had Hamburger Hill, and then you had these two TV shows. I never watched China Beach, but my dad watched Tour of Duty. He had a couple of brothers who were in Vietnam. He tried to get in. He went to every single branch of service, but he had cataracts in his eyes, and couldn't get in. But anyway, so you asked the question earlier about how I got into history. Like Tour of Duty, I would watch that with my dad. I also remember watching a documentary series with him, and I was probably 7 or 8 watching this.
You see a lot of guys fighting, and
so there was of course news coverage of it, and my dad's talking to me about it. And then there's a famous, you see it a lot in the photos, but there's a video that happened during the Tet Offensive where this Viet Cong guerrilla was captured, and a South Vietnamese colonel, and I'm really, really bad at Vietnamese.
Oh, in the street.
Yeah, his name was...
I know which one you mean.
Nguyen Loc Lon or something like that. I can't pronounce his name. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he's a colonel. Just walks up with this snub-nosed revolver and puts it right to this kid's head and shoots him in the head, and he flops over, and there's blood that is coming out. And I'm sitting there as like this kindergartner watching this, and I looked at my dad, and I'm like thinking, was I supposed to see what I just saw? and he just kind of looked at me and shrugged, like, that's what happened.
So that's where it went wrong with you then.
Yeah.
That's where it went all downhill.
So you guys know what clip I'm talking about, right? If you
In the streets. It was in the streets.
I think it turned into quite a famous photo as well, right? In the magazines at the time.
Yeah. They catch it right as the Viet Cong guerrilla's head is impacted. Do you know what happened to that? Again, I'm saying a South Vietnamese. I'm calling them a colonel, so I could be wrong on that. Do you know what ended up happening to him?
No clue.
No.
He ended up immigrating to the United States and opened up a pizza place in New Jersey, I think.
Actually?
Yeah.
Is he still alive today? No. He's still alive today.
Yeah, I think he died of cancer back in the 90s, if I remember right.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Whoa. I could look it up and fact check myself.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've accessed this information, so I could be a little bit off on my details.
But still,
I do know that he had a pizza place.
That scene is so iconic, right? Like that's been used. If you type in on Google like Vietnam War, if you scroll down a bit, you'll probably see that still image of the guy.
Yep.
He ran a pizza place in America.
Yeah.
Well, only in America, right? If it was in the Netherlands or in the UK, probably that would have not happened.
Yeah, his name was hang on a second. Yeah, and again, he was a general. I'm sorry.
General.
A general.
Ooh, watch out there.
And I can't say this name, but Nguyen Loc Lon. Yeah.
Wait.
And
he did a way better job than what I would have done.
With his American accent, loan. You agree, loan.
And then, hang on, we're just doing some real-time fact checking here.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, I was right. He died of cancer in 1998 in Virginia, and had a pizza parlor there.
Dude,
that's crazy.
Can you send me that name on WhatsApp after after the facts? Because now I'm gonna steal this idea and I'm gonna make a video about this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a video about that iconic scene, though. Although I cannot show that on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to show that.
No.
Well, you can, but
we can try.
But you're going
to get age restricted pretty quick.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Book your own battlefield tours on trailsofhistory.com.